Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Dan. I'm here in the Philippines on the Island of Bohol. Here's a couple jokes for you. A blonde is standing on one side of the river and she sees another blonde on the other side. She yells out, "How did you get to the other side of the river?" And the other blonde says, "Don't be stupid, you're already there." There are certain words that white people can't say, like the N-word. There are certain words that blacks cannot say, like the word ask. Nothing starts with N and ends with a G. My brother had a vasectomy a couple years ago. The doctors told him that they are 98% successful. He found out the hard way that it didn't work for him and that it can make your baby black. My buddy has been married for 35 years and happy as a clam. I asked him something. Do you ever think of someone else when you're having sex with your wife? And he said, nope. I think of my wife no matter who I'm with. Why do women wait so long before they give up sex? I went with a girl for almost a year one time without sex. I thought she would never turn 18. I was at a party one time and a woman came up to me and said, "Why is your hair so short? Are you a racist?" I said, "I see you're sporting a ponytail. Are you trying to be a horse's ass?" I did a joke about black kids with no fathers, and a big black guy stood up and yelled, "My kid has a father." I said, "Have you met him yet?" I respect all cultures. You know what they say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So I was in England and I drank warm ale. I was in Amsterdam and I visited a cannabis cafe. And when I was in India, I just shit on the streets. I was visiting an aquarium and saw a lady with a name tag, and below it it said fish expert. I asked her, do fish sleep? She looked me straight in the face and said, "I don't know because I don't work here at night." How do you start a rave in Ethiopia? Nail a piece of toast to the ceiling. When two transgenders jump off a cliff to see which one hits the ground first, who wins? Society. I went to a Philippine restaurant and ordered octopus. The waitress says it takes 4 hours. I said, "Why does it take so long?" Well, she said, "We cook them when they're alive, but they keep turning off the gas." I was thinking about selling a fragrance for introverts. It's called Leave Me the Fuck Alone. What do you know what's called practice tickling? A testicle. Did you hear about the Chinese godfather that made them an offer that he couldn't understand? What do you call a couple of time traveling birds? paradox. An elephant asked a camel, "Why do you have breasts on your back?" And it said back to him, "That's a strange question for someone that has a dick on their face." Okay. I'm going to have to go back into some old ones now. Let's see. What does a cow have 3 of and a girl have 4 of? That's a riddle. What do you say to a girl with no arms and legs? Nice tits. My aunt got a tattoo of a seashell on her inner thigh. When you put your ear up to it, you can smell the ocean. What's worse than a lobster on your piano? Crabs on your organ. What do you call a blind girl that is still in the closet? Last year's hide and seek champion. When a deaf girl gives you a hand job, it's technically oral. Have you seen the movie about the little fish with cancer? Finding Chemo. I went to a paraplegic strip club last night. The place was crawling with pussy. What do you get when you shove your hand up the cunt of a gypsy when she's on her period? Your palm read. I can't say that one. Oh. What do you call a blonde standing on her hands? A brunette with bad breath. A man and a woman are alone in an elevator. The man says to the woman, "Excuse me, can I smell your pussy?" Offended, the woman says to the man, "Absolutely not." Content with her answer, the man says to the woman, "Okay then, it must be your feet." A blonde goes to the doctor and asks why she keeps finding postage stamps from Costa Rica in her vagina. The doctor says those are banana labels. A skeleton walks up to a bar and orders a beer and a mop. What's 9 inches long and helps me have sex with whatever girl I want? My knife. If you clean a vacuum cleaner, aren't you a vacuum cleaner yourself? What do you call a lesbian on fire? LGBTQ. I heard Groucho Marx say one time, What a nice night for an evening. Tough to find a woman you can trust. I was going with a girl and she let me down. What happened was she ran away with my best friend and now I got no dog. How do blind people know when they're done wiping their ass? In Stockbridge, Georgia, a tiger was chasing a dog down an alley and was shot and killed. They have no idea where the tiger came from or where the dog got a gun. I told a couple jokes in town and a lady laughed so hard milk was coming out of her breasts. That's not the funny part. The guy next to her was lactose intolerant. Good news, bad news. Good news, bad news. A golfer in California drove his golf cart 175 yards over a cliff. The good news, it was the longest drive of the day. You're dumber than a second coat of paint. My wife was going through a box of old clothes and she said, after 20 years, this still fits. I said, that's a scarf. I can only please one person a day. Today isn't your day, and tomorrow isn't looking good either. What's worse than 10 babies nailed to a tree? One baby nailed to 10 trees. A magician was driving down the street, and then he turned into a driveway. A guy says to his friend, I got this nice poodle from her wife. The other guy said, that was a pretty good trade. Don't take life too serious. You'll never get out alive. I once dated a girl who was a twin. Everybody asked, how did you tell them apart? Well, Cindy painted her nails red and Billy had a cock. What's blue and doesn't fit? A drowned epileptic. What is black and has 23 tits? A trash bag outside a cancer clinic. A new study concluded that people eat more bananas than monkeys, because I can't remember the last time I ate a monkey. Why is it when you donate a kidney, people love you, but if you donate 5 kidneys, they always call the police? Here's a question for you. What is half of 8 plus 8? And I'll talk to you all later. Hope I made you smile once.